Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Vento Aureo, or Golden Wind if you prefer, episodes 5 and 6. So yeah, we are doing this past weekend's episode from when I was a Youmacon, as well as this weekend's episode, both at the same time here. So last we left off, our new JoJo, Giorno Giovanna, was tasked to keep this lighter lit for Pulpo as a way of getting entry into Passion. He manages to trick Pulpo into thinking he did keep it lit, and Pulpo gives him the button that allows him entry into the gang, saying specifically that he is going to work under Bruno. However, when Pulpo's not paying attention, Giorno manages to switch one of his guns with a banana, using his stand ability. And so the next day, Pulpo accidentally shoots himself in the mouth. Now, I had raised the question about, like, wouldn't Giorno be the lead suspect in that? Because if he was the last person to see him. But other people brought up that with Pulpo being as big as he is, and with him only really being in jail by choice, there's probably a lot of people who come to visit him every day. So it's very unlikely Giorno would have been the last person there. And on top of that, there's no real evidence to support that Giorno could have been behind it. So I will secede to that. I will acknowledge that. But, I mean, I think they would at least investigate or look into anyone who had contact with him in the recent days. I don't know. But either way, yeah. So last we left off, Giorno follows Bruno to the sort of headquarters of their gang. And we see the rest of the members of Bruno's gang. We don't get introduced to them quite yet. That's most likely going to happen right at the beginning of this episode. So I'm interested to see. We do know that they're all stand users, but that's about all we know. I am interested to see what kind of characters they are, what kind of stands they have, all of that. And just as a note, I am recording this on Friday, and at the time of recording, I do have a bit of a cold. So, I mean, you might have noticed me, like, wiping my nose with this. You may notice me during this reaction rubbing my eye and stuff like that. That's why. Most of what I have right now, it's mostly just the stuffy sinuses and the eye issue. Like, it's not really an itchiness. It's more like it just keeps watering, and I'm not entirely sure why. My throat is mostly fine. I mean, there's a little bit of a scratchiness, just a little bit, but it's mostly fine. I don't have too much of a cough. Like, every so often I might cough, but just rarely. And every so often I do have a sneeze as well that comes upon, but that's, I think, because of all the sniffling and everything, kind of irritating whatever it is in my nose canal, my nasal canal, that causes sneezing. I don't know how all of that stuff works. But yeah. So just letting you know that ahead of time. That, yeah, I'm going to be like this for this reaction. Hopefully I'll get this figured out by Monday. If I do not, I will let you know. And hopefully if it hasn't gotten any worse, I'll still be able to keep going with reactions. But if it does get worse, I will let you know, and yeah, reactions will have to be put on hold. And streams and stuff, just until it gets better. But that's only if it gets worse by Monday. We'll have to see. In the meantime, yeah, we're just going to get this started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the reaction to follow the redirect. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to both episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so 2 more very good episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Vento Aureo. Once again, or Golden Wind if you prefer. Um, so in these episodes, we meet the team, I guess Team Bucciarati, or Bucciarati, however you want to pronounce it. And they have some interesting personalities. I think I like Narancia the most, because he's fucking adorable and hilarious. Um, there's Baccio, who is the one who was kind of focused on these episodes. He has the stand ability to apparently be able to select a person and see, like, and go back in time, basically, and basically view them as a recording and see everything that happened to them within the past certain amount of time. It's not a amazing stand in terms of physical ability, and I don't think it's like going to be amazing in a lot of physical fights. But it was definitely useful for this situation. As for his character, I'm not like sold on him yet. They gave him this backstory about how he was a cop and started to see the more corrupt side of all of that. But all in all, I don't really, I just don't really like him yet. I don't hate him, I just don't really like him yet. Then we have Fugo, who we just haven't spent enough time with. We haven't really focused enough on him for me to really have a strong opinion one way or the other. And finally, we have Mista, who is the one who design-wise, I recognize the most. I've seen his design many, many times before. Mista's probably my second favorite of Bruno's game, outside of Bruno and Giorno. He's interesting. He's fun. So he has this apparently, like, superstitious side to him, where he can't interact with or do anything involving when something's involving the fourth. Like, he can't... He doesn't want them to choose the fourth yacht. He cannot choose between 4 slices of cake. If it's 3 slices of cake, if it's 5 slices, that's fine. But if there's 4 slices of cake and he chooses between them, it's bad luck in his eyes. Otherwise, he seems like just... That's his big standout feature. Because otherwise, he's just kind of this normal JoJo character. Who seems to get annoyed a little bit by Narancia, but... Other than that, there's not a huge amount to him, but that gives him a little bit of a personality quirk that allows him to stand out. But yeah, so far, their dynamic together is interesting. They definitely have this argumentative side to them, where they're constantly fighting and having differing opinions on things. But at the same time, I do also like that they're willing to come together for the greater good, basically. When push comes to shove, they're willing to work together. Baccio specifically has this loyalty towards Bruno, because Bruno seemed to have helped him out during a dark time in his life. Which is all well and good. I actually like that. And we see that Baccio is not trusting of Giorno at first. Because it's like, oh, you just bring in this new guy? How can we know that he's trustworthy? I don't trust him. I don't like him. And it's like, I get what he's saying. It's like, if you have this group who have been together for any amount of time, and you just bring someone in who you don't know, you have no knowledge about one way or the other, and you just are expected to take their word for things, it's going to feel kind of out of place. Because, again, this group is already tight-knit enough to where an outsider just coming in feels like an intrusion. So I understand his feelings there. It's just, at the same time, it's like, in that kind of situation with things going the way they're going, it's really just like, listen to him or die. So I was kind of more on Bruno's side in that particular debate. Now, Bruno is the leader of this group. But the other gang members don't seem to be, like, super, like, respectful towards him, and they're not, like, going out of their way to listen to him that much, except Baccio, who, again, is, like, indebted to him, basically. But the others, they definitely seem to not like be just these yes men who are just going to listen no matter what. Um, and I like that. I like that they have that kind of dynamic, that they're not just your typical lackeys. Um, Now the tea thing, Abaccio, I don't know what he did with that tea, if or even if that was tea. I don't know if it was poisoned or what, but Giorno got past that, and it seemed like all fine from that point on. The others seem to accept him well enough. But yeah, so far I'm definitely enjoying this. If I had to say, based off of these first 6 episodes, in comparison to my initial thoughts based off the early episodes of the past parts of JoJo, I would not say this has captured my interest as much as Stardust Crusaders or Diamond is Unbreakable, but I'd say it's a little more interesting to me than either Phantom Blood or Battle Tendency. I'd say it's above those two, above parts 1 and 2. Again, just based on how much it's captured my interest and interested me to want to keep going. But it's not as good so far as parts 3 or 4, Stardust Crusaders and Diamond is Unbreakable. But yeah, I'm definitely into it. And I mean, heck, any show that can give me can give me this much of interest in husbando this quickly is definitely a plus. Seriously, like I'm just already in love with Narancia. He's fucking adorable and just hilarious, and I love him. I'm hoping he stays that way. I'm really hoping that nothing ruins that for me, because I don't get a lot of great husbandos that often. I get a lot of waifus in a lot of these different shows, but with the male characters, it's like, yeah, there's male characters I love, sure. But there's not a lot that I would actually straight up call a husbando. I mean, you have the likes of Nasu, Suketaka Yoichi from Drifters. You have Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho. You have Izuku from My Hero Academia. He would definitely count. But all in all, like, even if I like the characters, again, I just wouldn't consider them in that specific term. But yeah, Narancia definitely counts. I definitely think he's waifu material. I mean, if for no other reason than the fact that he is adorable. He is, like, freaking cute. Like, seriously, not just in his mannerisms and attitude, but he's actually, I like his design. I think he is designed very attractively. Just my opinion. I think he is legitimately cute in that way. But yeah, either way, I did enjoy these 2 episodes, but tell me what you thought. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of these 2 episodes. What did you think of the gang and their dynamic? What did you think of our first real villain after Team Bucciarati has formed here completely, with Giorno joining in? And I'm interested to see where you think this is going to go. If you've read the manga and whatnot, please, no spoilers, as always. And thank you so much for tuning in. And once again, I do apologize for being slightly sick, for the sniffling, for constantly rubbing my eye or wiping my nose. I do apologize for that. It's not really something I can help. I do think it's a bit of a con plague, a bit of a con crud. I picked up something at Youmacon this past week, I assume. Again, it's not that bad. I'm able to function just fine. It's just the stuffy nose makes breathing a little labored, especially when I'm laying down, like if I'm trying to go to sleep. But otherwise, it's mostly fine. The biggest issue is the rubbing of the eye, because it's causing, like, the skin around my eye to get extremely sore and everything. That's the biggest issue. And if that's the biggest issue for when I'm having a cold, that's a good thing. But either way, I am going to keep drinking my clear liquids, water, all that. I am going to keep having bouillon and just use spices in my foods that are generally seen as helpful for a cold. Stuff like cayenne, ginger, black pepper, garlic, stuff like that. Stuff that is, like, notably helpful. I'm going to try not to use, like, any medication, just because I don't have any, mostly, but Also because it's like, I want to, the natural methods actually do work, believe it or not, if you're doing it right. So, I have learned that from my mother being vegan. But either way, yeah. So as I said, let me know your thoughts on these episodes down in the comments below. I got kind of off track there. And I hope you enjoyed having 2 episodes for the price of 1 this week. Next week, we will obviously be back to 1. But I hope we continue to have some great fun and some awesome times with this new JoJo. I'm enjoying it so far. So for the time being, thank you so much once again for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing, live, love, laugh.